with Tony B. For the next hour, Tony B will give you a chance to tackle local, national, and international issues that affect your community. Street Beat. Street Beat with Tony.
Good evening.
This was just
You know what? I can't hear myself in the headphones. Let's see here. That's a little better, a little more. All right. There we go. Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Street Beat. It's me, your host, Tony B, and the beat of the city. Wow. Social unrest, social upheaval. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. So we're going to be talking this evening about Jenny Durkan and Kshama Sawant. What I want to know is, what do you think about the two of our elected officials? Yep, that's what I want to know. What do you think about the mayor of the city, Jenny Durkan, and City Councilmember Kshama Sawant? Now, you can choose to tell me what you feel about either one of them. You don't have to connect them together, or you can connect them together. If you're curious why I'm connecting them together, well, you can talk about that too. But the main thing is, what I want is your opinion. We do know that Kshama Sawant has been advocating for Mayor Durkan to be impeached. We also know that recently Mayor Durkan would like to have Councilmember Kshama Sawant expelled. How do you see this? Do you see this as a personal rift between the two of them? Now, they do have some things in common, that as the mayor, Chaz, well, that's where the buck stops. So you have to engage and involve the mayor. And anything that involves Chaz, the protests. Councilmember Kshama Sawant has been actively involved in those protests, as a matter of fact, opening the doors to City Hall, letting folks in, and then actually participating in, some said led, but participating in a march on Jenny Durkan's home. Now, there's a number of other political issues about the both of them that you can share here. What are your thoughts? What do you think about your mayor? What do you think about the job that your mayor has done in handling anything up to this point, and in particular as we have approached this situation, moving into a pandemic? What was done? How do you feel about what was done as we were in this approaching and then in the midst of this pandemic by the mayor of Seattle? Then as we moved into George Floyd, what do you think about the leadership in Seattle at that point? Now, there are a lot of other things on the table that you can talk about for either one of these two. And you can also tell me, why am I linking them together? Main thing is, I want your feedback. So give us a call at 206-290-9685. I mainly want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts. You will get to have your voice heard. Now, I might challenge you. I might ask you some questions. I probably will. But I guarantee you, your voice will be heard. That's how we get down. So, we're going to be trying this out. This is our first time taking live phone calls, and so we've appreciated your support. And with that support, as a Black-owned media company that understands the importance of making sure that you hear voices that sound like yours, you hear issues that concern you. We're trying to make sure we continue to do a better job of that and find ways to bring you into the mix. So we'll start making this happen right now. Be prepared that when I bring you on, you're going to be on the air. And so you'll have to be ready to go. Try and figure out what you want to say that you can be brief. I can't let you be on the air the entire show, the entire hour. But at the same time, get your point across. Just bring it. Bring something to the table. Okay, let's see if we have this going right now. And who do we have on the line right now?
Brother DJ Eddie Kane.
Brother DJ Eddie Kane. Can you give me a little more of that in my headphones too, Daniel? Mr. Kane, how are you, sir?
Great, Tony B. It's an honor to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Well, I know that you sent me a 12-point plan, and I'm going to give you a chance to talk about that. But my initial thing, which is pretty simple, and you tell me how you would fill in the blanks. What do you think about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant?
Yes, I do feel that they're tied together, brother. Like you said, Mayor Durkan, as you know, was a U.S. attorney and had some type of special order that kept her street or house hidden. And she feels that the council member, Sawant, I don't want to mess up her name, violated that. And I also wanted to talk about the top zone. Mayor Durkan had an executive order to clear it up. She could also do an executive order to start a 3-strike law on the police.
Okay. All right. What are your thoughts in regards to how Mayor Durkan has handled the coronavirus, the chop, the chaz, the protests? How do you feel that was handled by the mayor of Seattle?
I don't feel that it was handled correctly because she used riot gear and pepper bullets on peaceful protesters, and some protesters were agitators. You're supposed to go in the crowd and get those. Have some plainclothes officers and use non-lethal force, But I feel that as far as the COVID-19 situation, she did as much as she could. America is an individuality state to where people do what they want to do. You can't really force them to wear a mask. But she did put the guidelines out there that she followed from the national level and did the best that she could. One thing I want to talk about Mayor Durkan is she's only offering 5% of defunding the police. The reason being is because we're not giving her a plan of where that 5 or 20% is supposed to go. We need it to go to black neighborhoods, to the playgrounds, and to the mental health centers, and to teach kids how to purchase a home, do taxes, stuff like that when they get into the real world. That's the problem. My 12-point plan touches on all of this. It touches on black business owners having access to ports. I want you to go through that plan in a minute here, and then.
That's okay. But before we do that, you mentioned that you thought that Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant were connected. Why do you believe that?
I believe that it's personal. After she came down her street, she had some type of protection order that was protecting her house because she used to be a U.S. attorney, and you make enemies when you put people in jail. And somehow she feels the council member violated that by participating in the march that went to her house, but anybody could have found her house. It wasn't just necessarily her. She's upset because she let people into the city hall, and she made it personal. And so she wants her expelled, and the council member wants her impeached. Both need to just come together and figure something out for the people. That's what we hired them for.
All right, now quickly, you have a 12-point plan. What is the 12-point plan for?
The 12-point plan is to move black folks forward so that we leave a legacy for our kids. We have to get laws passed. All these statues coming down and all of this wearing kuta cloths is fluff. All it is this: we try to make you feel good, but then it's going to go back to the same thing unless we get laws to keep racist police in check.
All right. Great way to start the show. Quickly tell me a little bit about the 12-point plan and what's in it.
Yes, the first point is to get a 3 strikes law through an executive order through all mayors in America to go after cops' 401k plans or pensions. You can never change the hearts of men. There's always going to be racist police. But if you go after their pension, their pocket, they will straighten up and fly right when it comes to policing on these streets. A lot of people from the hood say,
I
well, you should
want you
hire
to. I don't
people
want to
from the
cut you out,
hood.
but I want you to get through all of them. So I can't have you deeply explain
Sure.
all of them, but I want you to just try to get through them so we know essentially what the 12 points are.
And I'm willing to send it to anybody. I'll leave my email is enlbailey48@yahoo.com. Shoot me a quick email, and I'll happily send the plan out to anybody.
Okay,
Point two goes after
give us
just,
that email address again. Maybe give us
yes,
that email.
sir. E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, L as in Larry, Bailey, like Bailey's Irish Cream, BAILEY, the number 48@yahoo.com.
All right. You know what?
Shoot me a quick email, and I'll send it to you.
I'm gonna and take a look. I got the opportunity to see the whole 12-point plan. So anybody out there interested, you can see this entire 12-point plan as well. The phone line's open. Give us a call, 206-290-9685. Mr. Eddie Kane, thank you for joining me on Street Beat and being my first caller of the live show. Appreciate you.
All right.
My man.
You, brother. We'll keep in touch.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let me make sure. I'm trying to figure out how this is working now. All right, I'm getting it. Rainier Avenue Radio. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
Vanessa. Okay, you hold on for a second. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to bring Mr. Marcus Harrison Green, who joined us recently. Mr. Green, how are you? Marcus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Tony? You can hear me?
Got you.
Okay.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I just finished the book club on James Baldwin's The Fire Next Time. It seems like it's very smoky and heated in the city at the moment. So
So as you know, I'm going to be taking phone calls tonight, and we're going to be talking about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant. Anything anybody wants to talk about in that regard, I have connected them. Maybe some folks feel they shouldn't be connected together. Do you want to weigh in on this before I take some more phone calls? And it's one of the reasons that I asked you to join me. So when you hear me say, what do you think about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant? For you, Mr. Green, what comes to mind?
I mean, to be honest with you, that is sort of, the ultimate battle that has kind of been going on and raging in the city, in the sense of you sort of have sort of left of center bona fide person in Durkan, that at least that's what a lot of people feel that she represents, and you have somebody more of a on radical stripe with Sawant, where you have these people, certainly her followers who believe that we need to do away with the incremental changes, and we need more systemic extreme changes. And so, I mean, I think in terms of an encapsulation of the city and where we find ourselves in this moment, I think, these are fairly good proxies.
Do you think that they, well, one, and then you can't know because you're not in the minds of people, but we do get to, again, this is opinion and people out there.
I can make an educated guess.
Does this seem like something personal between Sawant and Durkan? And I mean, that they've been going hard after Durkan, and whether you like Durkan or not like Durkan, whatever, you can weigh in on this. But what I saw initially was I didn't see a city council and a mayor all sit down and say, how do we work this out? I saw some folks, and maybe they should and maybe they shouldn't, went hard after Durkan. Did you see that, or was it deserved? Is this something now that within the city council and the mayor, we're not going to actually be able to get anything done because the mayor and a city council member are diametrically opposed to agreeing? Is this what in your opinion, Mr. Green? How does this work for you?
Well, I mean, I think let's paint the picture. I mean, when I say they, Sawant and Durkan have never been the closest of allies, to begin with. I mean, they've been taking shots have been fired, previous to this time. And I think I was talking to somebody today, and I said, it went from a heated sort of battle to now it's kind of nuclear, if you will. And so I think, from what I've seen and, what I continue to report on is, I mean, even though Councilmember Sawant has said that she didn't take anything personally that Mayor Durkan did, you have to believe after a while that it does start to be a little bit personal, just in terms of human nature.
You're gonna hang on with Marcus while I take some phone calls, right?
I will, yeah.
Okay, and who do we have on the line now? Hello?
This is Vanessa.
Vanessa. Vanessa, welcome to Street Beat. What do you think about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant?
Well, I agree with what Marcus said. To answer your first question, how are they connected?
I don't know if we can hear you. Daniel, can we?
Can you hear me now?
Well, I think that's a little better. I'm sorry for these, but go ahead and
Okay. They represent two different visions for how Seattle is going to be. And Mayor Durkan represents the corporate vision. And when we're coming out of the coronavirus, that's
Daniel, I'm sorry. I was hearing our other caller. You turned my mic up, but the phone line is not up.
All the way.
It's up all the way.
All the way.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We will let you get your word out to make sure. So you go ahead and tell us, and if folks can hear you, I'll just be quiet and let you talk.
okay. I'll go back to that. I think that Councilmember Sawant and Mayor Durkan represent two alternative visions for Seattle. And now in this time of crisis, we have to decide what we want. And Mayor Durkan, she is corporate. She opposed the tax on Amazon. If we had had that tax, we would have had better public health measures and better community support in place, more affordable housing in place when the coronavirus hit. And so she represents the corporate vision, the austerity vision. She wants to smile in people's face and then do nothing to help them. And in fact, go silent, go radio silent while violence is happening at CHOP. Whoever started it or whoever did it, it's her responsibility to respond in some type of way. The first thing she says is to have a petty attack on Councilmember Sawant instead of addressing the actual crises that are happening. And then on the other hand, Councilmember Sawant represents really the people's movement, which is for Seattle, where instead of some people being very rich, the people are allowed to prosper, but then that prosperity gets shared with everybody, the people who make the wealth, the people who, mow the lawns and serve the groceries, and there's enough for everyone. And that is possible. Some people don't believe it's possible, but people criticize Kshama Sawant when she was leading the fight for $15 an hour. We have it now. We didn't have an economic crisis because of that. We have an economic crisis now because of not investing in the people. So I think Mayor Jenny Durkan has got to go. I think she gave us rubber bullets and tear gas, and she smiled and acted like she was shocked, but she gave the go-ahead. And I think Councilmember Sawant, sometimes she's loud or divisive. People don't maybe like her personality, but she gave us $15 an hour along with the help of all the people. So I think the proof is in the pudding, and we have to decide, what we're going to eat in the future.
I appreciate the call. What was your name again?
Vanessa.
Vanessa, great call. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Mr. Green, what do you think? Vanessa says, I diametrically opposed. It's at this point, it's a direction of the city. You can give us a call too at 206-290-9685 if you'd like to share your opinion on the air with us as well. Again, that number is 206-290-9685. I know that it hasn't sunk in yet, so I'm going to say it a whole bunch of times so that people know. 206-290-9685 if you want to weigh in on this conversation. So again, what I want to do is I want to hear people thinking. She feels this could be the direction of the city, the fate of the city, this potential power struggle between Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant.
Yeah, Tony. Well, I'll have to say too, right? I mean, this is something that is playing out.
And I'm gonna let you talk here, Marcus. I'm just gonna grab this caller. Who's on the line with us? You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.
Comment. I ask a question about your talk show.
Yeah, 1 second here. All right, hang on. Who is this?
Harriet Walden.
Roman?
Harriet Walden, I believe.
Harriet Walden. Harriet. Okay, so yeah, Marcus, you go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I think that this is sort of a localized version, quite frankly, of what's going on nationally with the Democratic Party. I mean, you see it, played out in New York, where you added sort of more, quote unquote, citrus person, get beat by, an up and coming person in this recent congressional race. We've seen that in Kentucky, where it was the opposite, where the more centrist candidate, I believe who was a Marine, beat the more radical candidate. So it's really just, something that continues to go on across this country. And we just happen to have, this is what our version looks like in our backyard.
So joining me is Ms. Harriet Walden. Thank you for giving us a call, and thank you for being part of this conversation. Just weigh in as you feel fit.
Okay. Well, I think both of them got a problem. I mean, because Sawant, she wanted to give away the East Precinct in her district that was set there by Sam Smith, because she just got to America. She didn't know the history of the East Precinct and how we got there. And also is against the charter. The Seattle charter says that each sector has to have an open precinct. And so the mayor, now that it's open, and all the people, the fire department could not go on Pine Street to get past 12th Avenue. So it was really a dangerous situation up there. She never went up to talk to the business owners. And the other thing about the city, we need a complete audit of all the money that has already been used for homelessness. All the money that came in under Murray, and now all the money, we need a complete audit. Now, I give the mayor, I bifurcate, I give her a good grade on COVID. She did a good job on that. I mean, making sure that people were eating, I mean, the money, the resources, and all of that stuff. But we can tax Amazon all they want to, because they're moving their headquarters out of Seattle. And so I think people will realize that, I mean, yeah, we got a lot of issues around people with a lot of money, but her party has not created no jobs in America at all. And so I think people need to take a step back, look who's creating jobs, and also look how you can hold people accountable. And I say both of the mayor and the city council person, actually, if you pull up the charter governing Seattle, it says about police in every sector. And East Precinct, for people who don't know it, belongs to Black people, because Sam Smith was the first African-American person elected to the city council. At that time, it was no precinct here at all. All the cars had to come from someplace else, not only for the central district, but the whole area. So anyway, we've been holding the feet to the fire about that. She can't give it away. Sawant wanted to give it away as a community service, as a community center, and as a representative for that district. She didn't even know anything about the charter. So absolutely, she's shallow, doesn't have a depth. Her depth of knowing everything is kind of shallow. So
let me ask you a couple questions, and thank you. That's why we're here. You're listening to Street Beat. It's me, your host, Tony B. Joining me from the South Seattle Emerald is Mr. Marcus Harrison Green, and on the line with us is Harriet Walden. Do you think that Mayor Durkan, as Councilmember Sawant is pushing for, should be impeached?
Well, if you're going to impeach one, you probably need to impeach both of them on a way. But Sawant actively tried to give away a city asset to, and she went up there and threw gasoline on the fire. She went up there and actually I ratcheted up with the young people who were up there protesting. Then she led all of those people down to City Hall during COVID. I mean, she had no regards for all the people who were following her down there to COVID, down to the City Hall that night. And then she did not come out hardly to make a statement about anybody who got shot up there. And my condolences to the families of the two individuals that got shot, Harriet Lorenzo Anderson, and I have not been able to get the name of the other individual. So anyway, I think that on some level she has crossed over the line of being a good representative to represent all of the people. She's actually more important with her position as a socialist alternative party person than absolutely fulfilling all the needs of the people in her district.
Do you think that, as requesting now as City Council, Mayor Durkan is requesting, do you think that Councilmember Sawant should be, repealed, expelled?
I think she should be censored, for what she did on that piece. I mean, she was elected by the people, and if she had to run today, it might be a different thing because people have observed what was going on. But when Sam Smith was the representative, we had citywide, and if people just moved here, they don't know what citywide was. All the city council people had to run as a citywide. They didn't have districts. And now that we have districts, all we have is division. It is more divisive than ever. And I've been doing mothers for 30 years. I've seen this is the most divisive we've been in Seattle since you got the district. And Sam Smith he rode the bus every day. His office was always open. He ate lunch with the people in the community, and he called everybody, "How you doing, neighbor?" So I think we should return to some of those old ways to try to bring down some of the rhetoric so that actually how we're going to figure out to live in Seattle and rebuild Seattle. Please remember that after this is over, the city is broke, okay? The state is broke, okay? So where are they going to get all this money from? I mean, I don't know where they're going to get it from because they have not been able to collect any taxes since March. Everything has been shut down. So it's going to be a different reality. If you were here in 1970s when Bowen had its situation, Seattle might be like it was in the 70s when Bowen had its situation.
Thank you for giving us a call and sharing your opinion, and thank you for bringing it. This is how we get down. I'm going to get another call again. Thanks for giving me a call. I'm going to come back after this break. Mr. Green will continue to be with me. We're going to take more of your calls. 206-290. I got to remember the number. How can I expect somebody else? 9685.
It's been a long day, Tony. It's been a long day.
give us a call, and we'll get you on when we come back. And the number again, 206-290. I'll get it right, and we'll be back right after this. Rainier Avenue. Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station.
This is Cindy Bright, the host of Heartbeat Radio.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time.
This is Paul Schneiderman today on the 73rd edition.
Hey, y'all, welcome to Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars with Princess Robin.
Mothers.
You guys know me.
Dirty Harry.
Your home for information about the impact of the coronavirus.
Amongst many things that's difficult about this virus is that it prevents
it's been devastating. They're really heartbreaking stories of people who have...
There isn't anyone that isn't impacted.
Shutting our schools down, including all athletic programs.
Your first-hand accounts.
I did take the test, and I found out that I was positive.
A lot of people who know me, I'm still the first person they know.
But it was almost like you were patient zero for South Seattle. Your stories of community coming together.
Partner very heavily with Tacoma Urban League, who is doing some amazing work in response.
We're doing things for small businesses. We're giving out loans for small businesses.
And so I think it's very important that we have leaders who feel the pressure.
I mean, I cannot tell you we're calling 20, 30, 40 members.
This crisis in our community, we've been working to address it.
Rainier Avenue Radio, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
DJ Dirty John.
Karen Z with Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hey, this is Sergio Cool. RainierAvenueRadio.world.
RainierAvenueRadio.world. We got you covered. Global impact, global presence.
Welcome to RainierAvenueRadio.world and our weekly coverage of the impact of the communities. Continuation of our series. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again here. And then again, now we are aware of the fact that we are, and more folks listening internationally.
If you live in King County and you pay property taxes, and if you're 61 years of age or older and make less than $58,000 a year, you need to listen to what we're talking about right now. Do you know about the exemptions and deferrals for senior citizens? For more information, call 206-296-3920 or email exemptions.assessments@kingcounty.gov. That's 206-296-3920. Tune in to Rainier Avenue Radio to find out what you can do to prevent predatory home buyers from taking advantage of minority homeowners in the hopes of landing prime real estate to develop. Join us on Friday the 29th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for this vital discussion. Join us on Friday. We'll be giving you messages all month long in support of keeping and maintaining your home and advice that you can get all month long about how you can qualify for property tax exemptions. Tune in to Rainier Avenue Radio to find out what you can do to prevent predatory home buyers from taking advantage of minority homeowners in the hopes of landing prime real estate to develop.
Would you like to see when your favorite Rainier Avenue Radio show comes on? Check out our show schedule, updated weekly at rainieravenue.world.
Welcome back to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. It's Street Beat with me, your host, Tony B. We're talking essentially about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant. Taking your live phone calls, 206-290-65. Daniel, what is
9685.
Thank you.
Need me to send you some coffee, Tony?
290-9685. And Marcus, I know that you have to go, but I love taking calls from folks and seeing how folks feel about this thing. And as we all know, that recently Mayor Durkan, is moving to have Councilmember Sawant expelled. And as we know earlier, Councilmember Sawant was moving to have Mayor Durkan impeached. I thought that Harriet Walden brought up an excellent point about the historical nature of the precinct, and in thinking that, what do you think, Marcus, when you from that perspective, having a community essentially want to take over and destroy something that maybe in the eyes of somebody else has that historical relevance? Does that change the game at all when you talk about, well, wait a minute, maybe they were disrespecting the East Precinct because historically the engagement with Sam Smith?
Right. I mean, well, honestly, it depends on your vantage point, and I think some of it is generational, right? You still have people who, for instance, were walking by the East Precinct when it was occupied, saying that, hey, this is the first time that I've ever felt like I was treated like a human being, standing outside here. So again, it's one of those things that it is very complex, right? It's you have a emotional attachment based on the context of which the place. And so for some of our elders who, that spot, they know it, historically as a place that Sam Smith obviously had a great deal of control and presence over. It's going to impact them differently from somebody who maybe was accosted outside of the East Precinct that were in their 20s or 30s. So again, it's a complex issue, which is why we have this issue that we have here today between the mayor and the city council person.
Hey, Marcus, I know you got to take off. Thanks for joining us. But before you go, man, give us a shameless self-promotional plug for the South Seattle Emerald.
Oh, I'm good at that, Tony. For anybody who doesn't know.
You are more than welcome, bro. Man, I appreciate the work that you're doing in the community, and yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate you, and I just want to quickly, before I give the shameless plug, I just want to say, much love, man, to all that you are doing here at Rainier Avenue Radio. You all are just the bomb, man, and much love. You hitting it as we say by land, air, and sea. You was just like the military, the Air Force. You all is everything. I tune in every day and just want to say thank you so much for providing, which is such a vital resource for our community.
Thank you.
My shameless plug is that if for your listeners, please, if you have not heard of it, go to the SeattleEmerald.org. We are the South Seattle Emerald. We seek to do in print what Rainier Avenue Radio does on the airways in terms of amplifying the true, genuine narratives of our community, unlike anybody else. So much love to you, Tony. Thank you so much for having me on. And brother, please stay healthy and please stay safe. And let's do this again sometime soon.
We'll make it happen. I'm staying out of folks' way.
All right. Come alongside me, Tony. You ain't got to stand up my way. Come alongside. All right, brother.
Thank you. And joining us, Brionne Corbrey. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Under the circumstances, fantastic. We're having a conversation about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant, and I'm just propping it up there and saying, who wants to take a swing at it? Again, I'm connecting them. Maybe you don't think they should be connected. Maybe whatever it is, when I bring these two names up, tell me, why are you calling? What is it that you want to say?
Well, this is what I really want to say is that, we know that Councilwoman Sawant, her record is she really fights for the people, right? People of all colors. She's really down for the city of Seattle. But on the other hand, Mayor Durkan is a backstabber. I know from personally, because I was a medical marijuana. I was the first African-American state licensed medical marijuana collective. And I was in line to have rec stores. And Jenny Durkan was the federal prosecutor who came in and ran all the African Americans out of the marijuana industry in Seattle. So that's why we have no ownership in stores or in grow ops.
I'm going to try something here. I just want to try something. I'm going to try and bring some. Don't hang up. Let's see. Do I have somebody else on the line?
I'm waiting on hold.
Okay, you're no longer on hold. I just wanted to see if I could do this. So you stay on the line while I finish talking to Corbrey. You'll be on next. Okay, Brionne, go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to figure that out. Go ahead, Brionne. Finish. I'm sorry, sir.
Do you want me to start speaking?
Oh, wait a minute. I think I put Brionne on hold. I'm up. Let's see. Brionne.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back, man. Next time I'm gonna have this down. I got you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, if we're looking at the track record of both of these ladies, then we're gonna. Personally, I'm going to go with Sawant because she has always been down for the people and never against the people. And I think that Jenny Durkan has been dishonest to the people of Seattle. I think that she's not even from Seattle. She's from Issaquah. So the thing of it is that she's a very dishonest person. If you look at how she treated African Americans in the marijuana industry versus how she treated Caucasians in the marijuana industry, they're totally two different types of treatment. So, and you can tell by the way she reacts to the situations when it comes to people of color. She really doesn't care. And then the fact that she is worried about somebody knowing where she lives. Well, I mean, if you are a bad person and you've done bad things to bad people, that would be the only reason why you would have to worry about your address. Now, Miss Sawant, she didn't give out that address. She's a regular citizen. She has every right to march just like everyone else. And then she also, on the other hand, has a responsibility to be the voice for the people. So when she allowed those people into the police or into the city hall, we pay the taxes for that city hall. So what the mayor is doing, because she's so used to being a federal prosecutor, she's trying to throw up smoke screens to try to make it seem like now Sawant has done something illegal to her or by allowing these people to go into City Hall or marching with these people to her home address. And the bottom line is those are all rights that the people have. And the mayor is a ex-federal prosecutor, and she's so used to taking away people's rights that she forgets that she ain't that federal prosecutor anymore. And that's how she's attacking Miss Sawant right now.
All right, and I appreciate your calling. I thank you for your patience, and I wanted to make sure you got it out. I want to get to some more phone calls here now that I've got this, Brionne. I'm gonna give you a shameless plug. Can I give you a shameless plug too, Brionne?
Yeah.
Man, two OG Smoking Weed is the show that you do on Rainier Avenue Radio. Now you don't hear it until after 10 o'clock because of what they call the I forgot what it's called. I can't remember anything right now. But after 10, safe harbor, and but at generally around 11. So appreciate you giving me a call, my man. 2OG Smoking Weed, Brionne Corbrey there's on.
You can check it out Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
All right. So I'm gonna grab a phone call here. Thank you.
All right, man.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Who's on the line?
I'm back. You guys hung up on me.
Okay. And who is this?
Sean in Seattle.
Sean in Seattle. Thanks for giving me a call.
Okay.
I'm having a conversation. We've heard some different things here. You heard Harriet Walden earlier, if you were listening, talk. Again, her issue was more with Sawant. Our last caller, his issue was clearly with Durkan. Again, everybody seems to be so far, though, okay with connecting the two together. Give me your opinion, Sean. Tell me what you think.
Okay. Well, my opinion is rather interesting because I know Durkan was trying her best to try and make friends with everybody that was trying to, as she said, have a love festival. But then it turned south and people started getting hurt, and suddenly Sawant said, well, okay, if you're not going to invite them to live in your front yard, I'm going to march them over there to set up camp in your front yard. And I thought, good for her, because not many politicians have the guts to do what Sawant did. Now, I don't agree with her socialism. I'm not a socialist. I'm conservative. But I admire her courage in marching those people over to the mayor's front door where she lives in absolute non-poverty. And suddenly she's concerned and says those people aren't safe. Well, put your cash where your mouth is. That's my attitude. I like the fact
so
that
you kind of feel like she's like, okay, if you want to protest and march in Capitol Hill, it's not my neighborhood, so it'll be a summer of love. But if you want to march in my neighborhood, is that what I hear you saying?
No, but I like your point.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying. I'm not making a point. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. That's kind of what I thought I heard you say. And if that's something that you agree with, but maybe that is the case.
I hope to explain myself better. Sawant grew up poor in India. Obviously, Durkan grew up in society here in America where she had much better chances than a lot of poor people do. And she earned her way to getting a degree in law. She became a council member, then a mayor. And now she's understanding what it's like to have the poor people in your face when you come out of the court. You know, it's just like down at King County Courthouse. You can't go in or out without people getting in your face and asking for something or stealing your food from you or something. You know, it's the real world when you hit the sidewalk. And I like the fact that Sawant shoved the real world in Durkan's face. I thought that was great.
Is that how you feel when you go to the King County Courthouse?
Yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. You can't even get it through the front door without being assaulted by someone. It's a sad situation for the poor people there. You know, I'd like to see Durkan spend money on porta potties for him instead of painting rainbow sidewalks on the concrete. It'd be a better use of money. Or put some traffic circles at intersections where people are getting smashed dead by speeding cars, like at 57th and Banger. That, to me, would be leadership. And Sawant, I like the fact she gets right in their face and puts the dirt right in their face, and they can't get away from it. I love that.
All right, I'm
conservative, but I like her approach to holding the politicians accountable.
I got a couple more questions for you before I take another call, and you can give me a call at 206-290-9685. I'm starting to get it memorized myself. 206-290-9685. I got to come up with an acronym that's easier to remember than 206-290-9685. And give me your feedback. Give me your opinion on the air about what you think of this conversation, what you've heard so far, and what you think of Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant. So my question to you is, do you think that Mayor Durkan should be impeached?
My opinion?
Yes.
No, I don't think she should be impeached. I think she should apologize to people like Sawant and the people up there in that Chaz and Stop area and say, you know, I didn't really realize what being poor is all about, and maybe I should go live in the camp with you guys for a few weeks before I open my big mouth. They're not as dangerous as she's labeled them.
And do you think that Councilmember Sawant should be expelled?
No. She's the kind of people we need in government, keeping people like Durkan in check, holding her feet to the fire, making her put her money where her mouth is. You know, I hate it when politicians say that they're going to help somebody and then they don't, and then they run home and live in luxury. Maybe they should invite them to live in their basements or open up their backyards for tents, you know? But you never see them doing it. I like the fact that Sawant grabbed the bull by the horns and led the bull right into the bullpen where all the bull poop is. And it was a wake-up call for Durkan. And I think everybody in Seattle should look at the falsity that's there. Again, I don't agree with socialism. I don't agree with some of the stuff the mayor does. I'm very conservative, but I like the fact that Sawant held her feet to the fire. And I congratulate her for that. That took courage. You don't see that often in politicians.
Do you think that this is personal between the two of them?
No.
I'll start with that. Okay. It's just politics as usual.
No, I think that Sawant got tired of listening to Durkan open her big mouth and not put her money where her mouth was. Again, this lady came from India where there's abject poverty and people dying in the streets. Durkan doesn't have that experience yet.
I appreciate you giving me a call.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir. Okay. Good show.
Thank you. 206-290. I forgot already, Daniel. 9685. Yes. Is that it? 9685. Okay. We are talking about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant. You're listening to Street Beat, and we're taking live phone calls for the first time, and I'm trying to get this figured out as we do this. I didn't have an opportunity to really go over this beforehand, and so I know that I've been missing calls, and I'm dropped a couple calls, and so I apologize for that, and I will get this worked out. Right now, Daniel, I'm a little frustrated with this phone, but I'm going to learn how to operate it. And anyway, what do you think with everything that's been going on? We've heard some calls earlier. We listened to the feedback that we got from our community, and here's the deal. Here's the way this works on Street Beat. It's what you think. Whatever the topic is, it's about amplifying your voice, your thoughts. It doesn't matter if you don't feel that your opinion is the popular opinion. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. It's an opportunity for people to hear what you think. It's an opportunity for you to share your viewpoint. Now, when that happens, yes, people who are listening may disagree. People who are listening may want to challenge what you have said. I may want to challenge what you have said. And that's going to be okay. That's what discussion is all about. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back and wrap this up. You're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.world, Street Beat with me, your host, Tony B. I'll take a couple more calls when I come back, and yeah, right after this.
You are listening to RainierAvenueRadio.world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
If you live in South King County, this message is for you. For the first time, you can choose to respond online, by phone, or by mail. Look, respond today. The census helps shape many different aspects of your community. Everyone needs to be counted. This includes those who live with you temporarily. Your response matters. Complete the census today. Questionnaire is confidential and it's not shared with law enforcement agents. Black and brown children from 0 to 5 were the most undercounted in the 2010 census. South King County, we need you to fill this out. This message is brought to you by the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle.
We got the feeling now? Yeah.
R&B, soul, funk, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We give you all that and more on Star Time. Join me, Paul Pearson, for a 2-hour trip through the history of R&B. A new episode every week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Come and get the feeling on Star Time on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio presents All Music, All Day Saturday. Music, All Day Saturday.
This is Edwin Bailey, Bulldog Blue.
Jazz from the Cabinets.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Star Time.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson. This is Star Time.
Saturdays, all music, all day. Reggae Hour. K-Fox Night.
Looking for the perfect beat? Yeah, it's the beat of the Fox.
Fresh Juice with D-Money in the group.
Myself, D-Money.
Nice Size Patron.
Taylor Hart.
Resistencia. The Northwest Rap Game.
DJ Medina. Chad Cheddar. Northwest Rap Game.
Sergio LaCour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking.
C-Monster Radio. Mo Jams is your jam.
We're live. Welcome to Mo Jam Mondays. This is KZ of KZ Music Media. Caller Goddess for Mo Jam Mondays.
Just my opinion. God is inspiration. Music. All day and all night. Saturdays on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
You know you can't get enough of RainierAvenueRadio.world.
You can protect others from getting sick from COVID-19. Here's what you do. Stay at home unless you need food, medicine, or medical care. Avoid large crowds. And if you have to go out, stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Don't forget to wear a cloth face covering so you don't spread germs when you talk, sneeze, or cough. Cloth coverings should not, however, be used on children under 2. For more information, call 206-477-3977. That's 206-477-3977.
You're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Welcome back to RainierAvenueRadio.world. It's me, Tony B., your host of StreetBeat, our very first live call-in show. And we're talking about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant, and just really want to know what the temperature of the community is. Who do I have on the line with me now?
This is Jackie.
Hey, Jackie, how are you?
I'm excellent, even under these conditions and time.
All right. Well, again, I'm going to tee that up for you. And tell me what you think when I say, what do you think about Mayor Durkan and Councilmember Sawant? Do you think that is a relevant connection? Is that apples and oranges? What do you think about the both of them and the way in particular things have been handled recently?
Well, just in reference to what happened concerning Sawant being involved with the protesters near her property, on her property, by her property. For years, I have felt that protesters and rallies, they needed to get out of their own communities, and they needed to be in communities where they're not hearing it, they're not seeing it, they're not caring, they're oblivious, they're not being touched, they're not being affected, they're not being bothered. You needed to be in those communities. And I had so much pride in Sawant, a leader who was willing to step out and be seen and be heard and be with the people that are hurting and the people that are being impacted, not just by what's happening, which is huge, major, by Black lives being devalued. But she's with people in general that are not being heard, that are not being seen, whose voices are being lost, whose needs are being ignored. And she's finally stepping out and standing with them in the areas that are going to be impacted by their presence.
Do you think that Councilmember Sawant during this time has shown the leadership that the city needs? Am I hearing you correctly?
I've always felt that about her. You know, people have different perspectives and different opinions and views about her, but one thing is true. No matter how much one ignore it, one thing is true. cares about the people, and she cares about this city, and she truly wants to do what's right. Now, you have business leaders and individuals in leadership positions who cater to business, and they're not concerned about what's in the best interest of the city. They're concerned about making money. Now, you might employ someone making $15 or less, but you're a millionaire. You're a billionaire. And so their heart is not truly within the best interest of the city. Their heart is within the best interest of their pocket. And for me, that's where Durkan stands. That's where Durkan lives. That's what Durkan believes. She was voted in, and I give people their due. She is our mayor. It is what it is. But at the same time, she did not care then. She does not care now, and it's really the people that have the power to choose the direction the city is going to go.
I'm gonna hold on one second. I'm gonna try and take one more call here before I run out of time. Who's on the line now?
Tana Yasu.
Hey, Tana. Oh, hey, Tana. How are you doing? I got about a minute left, Tana, and I wanted to take one more call and it's you. So if you want to quickly just tell me what your thoughts are and share your opinion with folks.
Yes, and I'll be quick. I'm disappointed but I'm not surprised that this issue has gone from police brutality and George Floyd and Black Lives Matter to a reality type show with Durkan and Sawant. We're too easily distracted as a unified people, and our issues are the first historically to be watered down. I feel like Sawant is using the Black Lives Matter momentum to push her own agendas. And I know you don't have a lot of time, so I guess I'll leave that there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tana, for giving me a call. This was our first live call-in talk show, and we're going to be doing more of these, and we'll get the bugs work out of this system. Up next will be Fresh Juice. At the end of the day, the point is to hear your voice, to hear your thoughts, to hear from our community, to share your narrative, and we will be doing this again. So thank you to everyone who called, and you heard from the community. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You can always hit us up on Facebook and share your opinion as well. And we'll be doing more shows like this and getting more of your voice out there. That's it. That's all the time that I have. That's going to do it for the kid. It's me, Tony B., your host of Street Beat, saying, remember, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are probably right. I'm out. Peace.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not stopping a Mercer Island street brawl, I'm listening to Rainier